They do. Every time Ake plays centre-back, Man City lose goals for fun. And they did it again tonight.
I think
it's kind of like what I said earlier about Van Dijk. That's why in these group games, you're going to get crazy games. Because you've got players playing who normally wouldn't play. And so they're going to make mistakes. And no question, at least 2 of these 3 goals were down to Ake's bad positioning and bad decision-making.
I don't think Guardiola will be purring about the 6 goals. And I think he'll be more angry, upset about the analysis of the 3 goals that they lost and the way that they allowed a Leipzig side who have struggled at the start of the season in the Bundesliga, who have lost some key players, not just this year, but over the last couple of years, and have a new manager who's under a bit of pressure. And I think defensively that just was not good enough. Now, it's 3 points, and yeah, the City will create chances against almost every team. But the one thing City did, certainly domestically last year, they did not take their eye off the ball in terms of the defensive unit. And I think he will not want that creeping back into their game, because against the better teams, then the same thing will happen to them that happened last year. They won't win this competition.
Gab, what are your thoughts on Man City after that game?
I agree with Craig. In fact, I was wondering, if you're Pep, I think, given that he's a perfectionist, you view this game you view this glass rather as half empty, not half full, and you realize that. I know it's easy to just blame Ake, and he certainly was part of the problem. I don't think Ruben Dias had a great game either. It did look like they simply switched off. They're 2-0 up early. They're playing a Leipzig side where Jesse Marsch made a bunch of changes after the Bayern game. Understandable. And they're going and they're pressing and they're running around. The problem is, if you try to press City, they have so much quality. They can just pass the ball around you all day. And they did that very, very effectively. They get to 2-0, a bit fortuitous. They feel like they're in control. And then they lose that goal. And then they lose the other one after the break, after the Mahrez penalty. And then you have these little situations where, where Leipzig keeps scoring. And it's not a situation you want to be in if you're City. You want to be in control. And sure, you can score 6 because you've got so much more talent and you're brilliant going forward. And Grealish, does that individual run where he turns Adams inside out. But it's not the way I think Pep would want them to play, certainly not in Europe.
Yeah, especially with the start that Leipzig have had to the season. Anyways, some of these guys will be with me on... Sorry, Frank, go on.
Yes, I just want to go back to what Craig mentioned, the fact that City and Paris Saint-Germain will go through that group stage, and of course they will, but I think it's important to finish first or second, depending on if you're going to receive on the second game as well, So losing 2 points for Paris Saint-Germain against Bruges, it has to be considered, because it's going to have an effect if Paris Saint-Germain finishes second, play the first game in Parc des Princes and play the second game, whoever it would be. That's going to have maybe an effect on their future. So, yes, we talk about that. Yes, they're going to go out. In which position? That's the main important thing for me that we have to talk about.
Important for you, Stevie, to talk about?
It's too early to say. We've year after year, somebody who will comfortably win the group ends up getting Barcelona because they were second in their group, for example. So you don't actually know until the groups play themselves out.
Is that such a bad thing this year?
No. It's getting
not.
That you want to get them.
No, it's as Frank says. Obviously you want to win your group because that gives you a certain advantage, but at the same time, you don't know what's going to happen in the others, and you might be unlucky and get a Barcelona, as I said.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.